The secret life of the woodpecker. In the early morning hours, when mist still clings to the forest canopy and dew glistens on every leaf, a rhythmic percussion echoes through the woods. This distinctive drumming sound, as familiar to nature enthusiasts as birdsong itself, announces the presence of one of nature's most remarkable engineers, the woodpecker. These extraordinary birds, with their specialized anatomy and complex behaviors, lead lives far more intricate and fascinating than their simple reputation as tree drillers might suggest. Masters of adaptation. Woodpeckers represent one of evolution's most striking examples of form-following function. Every aspect of their anatomy has been refined over millions of years to support their unique lifestyle of excavating wood and extracting insects from tree bark. Their most obvious adaptation is their powerful, chisel-like beak, which varies in shape and size depending on the species and their preferred food sources. The pileated woodpecker sports a massive, wedge-shaped bill perfect for creating large rectangular holes in dead trees, while the smaller downy woodpecker possesses a more delicate instrument ideal for probing bark crevices. But the beak is just the beginning of their anatomical marvels. Woodpeckers possess incredibly strong neck muscles that can generate forces up to 1,200 to 1,400 Gs during impact, a force that would cause severe brain damage in most animals. Their skulls are specially reinforced with extra thick bone, and their brains are packed tightly within the skull to minimize movement during hammering. Perhaps most remarkably, woodpeckers have a specialized hyoid bone that wraps around their skull like a seatbelt, providing additional protection and support during their high-impact activities. Their feet are equally specialized, featuring a zygodactyl arrangement with 2 toes pointing forward and 2 backward, creating a powerful grip on vertical tree trunks. Sharp, curved claws act like climbing spikes, allowing woodpeckers to cling effortlessly to bark surfaces at any angle. Their stiff tail feathers serve as a prop, creating a tripod effect that provides stability while hammering or feeding. The art of excavation. Woodpeckers are nature's carpenters, and their excavation techniques are surprisingly sophisticated. Different species employ various strategies depending on their size, strength, and target prey. Large woodpeckers like the powerful pileated woodpecker create distinctive rectangular or oval-shaped holes, often several inches deep, as they pursue carpenter ants and wood-boring beetle larvae deep within rotting wood. These excavations can be so extensive that they sometimes contribute to the eventual fall of dead trees, playing a crucial role in forest ecology. Smaller species, such as the red-bellied woodpecker, focus more on surface foraging, using their bills to probe bark crevices and scale away loose bark to reveal hidden insects. Some woodpeckers, like the yellow-bellied sapsucker, have developed an entirely different approach, drilling neat rows of shallow holes called sap wells. They return to these wells regularly to feed on the sweet sap that oozes out, as well as the insects that become trapped in the sticky substance. The precision of woodpecker excavation is remarkable. Studies have shown that woodpeckers can detect the hollow chambers created by insect larvae through a combination of acoustic feedback from their tapping and possibly even through detecting subtle vibrations in the wood. They adjust their hammering intensity and angle based on the wood's hardness and the depth of their target prey. Communication through percussion. While many birds rely primarily on vocal calls for communication, woodpeckers have developed a sophisticated system of non-vocal communication through drumming. This rhythmic hammering serves multiple purposes beyond foraging and is essentially the woodpecker equivalent of singing. Each species has its own distinctive drumming pattern, with variations in rhythm, intensity, and duration that can convey different messages. Territorial drumming typically occurs in the early morning and is performed on resonant surfaces that amplify the sound. Hollow tree trunks, metal surfaces, or even house siding. Male woodpeckers use these percussion performances to announce their presence to potential mates and warn rival males away from their territory. The quality of the drumming can indicate the fitness and determination of the drummer, with stronger, more consistent patterns suggesting a healthier, more dominant bird. During courtship, drumming patterns become more elaborate and may be accompanied by visual displays. Pairs often engage in mutual drumming sessions, creating complex rhythmic duets that help strengthen their pair bond. Some species also use softer tapping sounds for more intimate communication between mates or when guiding their young. Nesting. Architecture in wood. Woodpeckers are among the few bird species that create their own nest cavities, and their excavation skills reach their pinnacle during the breeding season. The process of creating a nest hole is an enormous undertaking that can take anywhere from 1 to 6 weeks, depending on the species and the hardness of the wood. Both male and female woodpeckers typically participate in this construction project, though the male often takes the lead in site selection and initial excavation. The choice of nesting tree is crucial and involves multiple factors. Woodpeckers typically select trees with heartwood that has been softened by fungal decay while maintaining a hard outer shell of sapwood. This combination provides easier excavation while ensuring the structural integrity of the nest entrance. Dead trees or snags are preferred by many species, though some will excavate nest holes in living trees. The nest cavity itself is an engineering marvel, designed with remarkable attention to detail. The entrance hole is perfectly sized for the occupying species, large enough for easy access but small enough to exclude larger predators and competitors. Inside, the cavity expands into a gourd-shaped chamber that provides ample space for eggs and growing chicks while maintaining structural strength. The bottom of the cavity is typically lined with fresh wood chips that serve as both cushioning and absorption material. Most woodpecker species create new nest cavities each year, though some may reuse excavations from previous seasons. This constant creation of new holes provides a valuable service to the ecosystem, as abandoned woodpecker cavities become prime real estate for secondary cavity nesters like bluebirds, chickadees, flying squirrels, and various other species that cannot excavate their own holes. Dietary diversity. While woodpeckers are often thought of primarily as insectivores, their dietary habits are remarkably diverse and seasonally adaptive. Insects do form the foundation of most woodpecker diets, particularly wood-boring beetles, carpenter ants, termites, and various larvae that live within tree bark and wood. Their ability to access these protein-rich food sources, which are largely unavailable to other bird species, gives them a significant ecological advantage. However, many woodpecker species supplement their insect diet with plant materials, particularly during fall and winter when insect activity decreases. Acorn woodpeckers have developed perhaps the most famous plant-based feeding strategy, creating elaborate storage systems called granaries in dead trees, telephone poles, and even building siding. These birds spend considerable time in the fall harvesting acorns and storing them individually in perfectly sized holes, creating pantries that can contain thousands of acorns. Other species have different plant preferences. Red-headed woodpeckers consume large quantities of nuts, fruits, and berries, while Gila woodpeckers in desert regions feed extensively on cactus fruits and nectar. Northern flickers, despite being woodpeckers, spend much of their time on the ground hunting for ants and other insects, and they also consume substantial amounts of berries and seeds. Sap feeding represents another specialized dietary adaptation. Yellow-bellied sapsuckers and red-naped sapsuckers create systematic arrays of small holes in tree bark to access the nutrient-rich sap. This behavior not only provides carbohydrates and minerals but also attracts insects that become trapped in the sap, offering additional protein. These sap wells become important food sources for other animals as well, including hummingbirds, squirrels, and various insects. Family life and reproduction. Woodpecker family dynamics are characterized by strong pair bonds and intensive parental care. Most species are monogamous, at least within a single breeding season, and pairs work together closely throughout the nesting process. Courtship begins in late winter or early spring, with elaborate displays that combine drumming, calling, and visual presentations. Once a pair has formed and completed their nest excavation, the female typically lays between 2 to 8 glossy white eggs, depending on the species. Both parents share incubation duties, which last approximately 2 weeks for most species. The eggs are incubated continuously, with parents taking shifts throughout the day and night. After hatching, woodpecker chicks are altricial, meaning they are born helpless, naked, and with their eyes closed. This extended developmental period requires intensive parental care. Both parents work tirelessly to feed their rapidly growing offspring, making dozens of foraging trips per day. The chicks develop quickly, and their constant begging calls from within the nest cavity can be quite loud, sometimes allowing researchers and birdwatchers to locate active nests by sound alone. Fledging occurs after 3 to 4 weeks, but even after leaving the nest, young woodpeckers remain dependent on their parents for several more weeks while they learn essential foraging skills. During this period, parents continue to feed their offspring while gradually teaching them to recognize food sources and excavation techniques. Family groups often remain together through the summer, with juveniles sometimes helping their parents defend territory or care for second broods. Ecological impact and relationships. Woodpeckers play crucial roles in forest ecosystems that extend far beyond their own survival needs. As primary cavity nesters, they create homes that are subsequently used by numerous other species. Studies have shown that woodpecker cavities support entire communities of secondary cavity nesters, from small songbirds to mammals like flying squirrels and even some reptiles and amphibians. Their foraging activities also have significant ecological impacts. By controlling populations of wood-boring insects, woodpeckers help maintain forest health and prevent infestations that could damage or kill trees. Some researchers estimate that a single woodpecker family can consume thousands of harmful insects during a breeding season, providing natural pest control services worth considerable economic value. Woodpeckers also serve as indicators of forest health and biodiversity, because they require specific habitat conditions, including adequate snag density, appropriate tree species, and healthy insect populations. Their presence often indicates a well-functioning forest ecosystem. Conversely, declining woodpecker populations can signal environmental problems such as habitat fragmentation, pesticide use, or other ecosystem disruptions. Seasonal adaptations and migration. While many bird species migrate to avoid harsh winter conditions, woodpeckers have developed various strategies to survive year-round in their territories. Most North American woodpecker species are non-migratory, relying instead on behavioral and physiological adaptations to survive winter challenges. Food caching is one important winter survival strategy. Beyond the elaborate granary systems of acorn woodpeckers, many species store food in bark crevices, behind loose bark, or in other hidden locations. These caches provide crucial supplemental nutrition during periods when fresh insects are scarce. Roosting behavior also changes dramatically in winter. While woodpeckers typically roost in natural cavities or excavated holes during breeding season, winter roosting becomes more strategic. Some species excavate special winter roost holes that are deeper and better insulated than nest cavities. Others may roost communally, with multiple individuals sharing body heat in a single cavity. The few migratory woodpecker species, such as the yellow-bellied sapsucker, time their migrations to coincide with sap flow patterns in different regions. These birds move south in fall as sap production decreases in northern forests, then return north in spring as warming temperatures stimulate renewed sap flow in their breeding territories. Conservation challenges and success stories. Woodpecker conservation presents unique challenges due to their specific habitat requirements and sensitivity to forest management practices. Several species have experienced significant population declines due to habitat loss, while others have shown remarkable recovery thanks to targeted conservation efforts. The ivory-billed woodpecker, once considered extinct, represents the most extreme case of woodpecker conservation concern. This magnificent bird, the largest woodpecker species in North America, disappeared from most of its range due to extensive logging of old-growth forests. Despite occasional unconfirmed sightings and ongoing search efforts, the species remains functionally extinct, serving as a sobering reminder of the consequences of habitat destruction. More encouraging is the story of the red-cockaded woodpecker, which has recovered from critically low numbers through intensive management efforts. This species requires mature pine forests with specific characteristics, and its recovery has been achieved through habitat restoration, artificial nest cavity installation, and careful forest management practices. Urban and suburban woodpeckers face different challenges, including collisions with windows, competition for nest sites, and conflicts with human activities. However, many species have shown remarkable adaptability to human-modified landscapes, with some even thriving in suburban environments that provide adequate mature trees and insect populations. The secret life of the woodpecker reveals a world of remarkable adaptation, complex behaviors, and crucial ecological relationships. These extraordinary birds represent millions of years of evolutionary refinement, resulting in creatures perfectly suited to their unique ecological niche. From their shock-absorbing anatomy to their sophisticated communication systems, from their architectural prowess to their vital role in forest ecosystems, woodpeckers continue to fascinate researchers and nature enthusiasts alike. Understanding and appreciating the complexity of woodpecker biology not only enriches our knowledge of the natural world, but also highlights the importance of preserving the forest habitats these remarkable birds depend upon. As we face ongoing environmental challenges, the story of the woodpecker serves as both inspiration and reminder of the intricate connections that sustain healthy ecosystems. Their rhythmic drumming will continue to echo through our forests, a percussion symphony that speaks of adaptation, survival, and the endless creativity of evolution.